Hello students, in this video you can see this is an experiment, and which experiment of this is a strength of material experiment. That is we are going to do column practical. And what is the name of this practical and which experiment is this is the experiment number 11. And what we have to do in this experiment, we have to find out the buckling load. And this experiment is known as the buckling load on column having different support condition. You can see the lab attendant is putting and applied the load, and you can see the bending in the columns, and that is the steel of and you can see the slight bending on the first column. And when we apply more load, so that it will be bend more, and you can see there is one side is fixed and other side one is the hinge support, or it can be both side pin, it can be both side fixed. And what you have to do, you have to apply the load, and then you have to see the how much bending is occurring. And you can see here that how much load we have applied, and there is too much bending is occurred in the column. But this is not known as bending, because we know bending it is in beams. Now this is the buckling in columns. So whenever you apply the load on the column, so there will be the buckling occur. And what you can see, then you if you will apply less load, so there will be the less buckling. And when you apply more load, so then there will be more buckling. And if this rod comes out, so what does it mean by that? Both side is pin. So when you will put it, so it can put it out, and this is pin side, and it can come out. So how you can see the student is putting a rod over there, and what happened when you will apply the load, so there will be the bending occurs. And now you can see there is one end fixed and other one is rotating, that is the pin one. So one end is fixed, the other one is pin. So for the next, what is the next condition? And before that, we will see on the next column, when you are applying the load, so there is the bending is occurring, but the bending is more on which side? On the fixed side. So what you have to see, that there are different bendings for different conditions. For example, when you were having both side pin, so what was the curve is in around the between, it is at the center of the rod. And now there is the more shift of the bending or buckling. Sorry, bending, it's not that, it is buckling. So buckling is more towards the end of the fixed end. So you can apply more load, so you will get it more curves, and you can say more buckling. And then you have to move on the another column, and what is over there. And now you can see the lab attendant will show you the first one is pin, second one is fixed pin. So this is fixed, and the other end is pin. And the third one is what? Third one, we can see the lab attendant will show you. One end is pin, other end is fixed. So second one is fixed on the beneath, and the upper one is the pin. And in another case, there is the fixed upward and downward pin, and the last one is fixed from both ends, so you cannot put it out. So you will have to apply the loads, and then you have to check it out how much buckling is occurring in the columns, in all the four columns. And there are different conditions given for that. For example, first condition is pin, second one is fixed pin, next one is pin fix, and the last one is fix. So now you can apply load on the third column, and what will happen? There will be a slight curve over there, slight band buckling over there. Then you can apply more load over that. Now you can see the more buckling. So you can see where is the buckling coming over there. So now there is a more buckling towards the pin end. So the upward is fixed here. So now the lab attendant will apply the load on the last column. And what will happen? Now you can see it. You have to take the reading of the load, how much load you are applying, and you can see slight curve over there, because the column is condition is fixed on the both sides. And when you have done, I have taken, I was not having too much load over there. So what I have done, I have taken I have taken cube, or you can say paver, and when you will weight it, so you will get the weight of total. So now you can see the more buckling in the last column where the conditions are fixed. So now you can see how can you perform this practical, and this is very interesting job and you will love to do that. And it is we have already covered in the theory as well. Now you can see what is happening over there, and when you will apply the load, so what will happen, you have to measure the length of the column, and when you will measure the length of the column, then what you have to do, you have to measure where the major buckling is coming over there, then you have to measure that one. And what you can use the ruler or a scale of inches. You can, I think most probably you can use a steel scale, so that is more better for that. And you can see this apparatus, it is known as strut apparatus. So this apparatus is known as strut apparatus. And what you have to do, you have to apply different loading on this apparatus. Then what you have to do, you have to measure the length of the rod. What is the length of the rod? Then you have to measure its thickness for the calculation of moment of inertia. And how can you do that? So I will tell you. For example, this is the rod, and you can see what is happening. You have to measure this length. When you will measure this length, so obviously you have to measure its thickness as well. So you will use in that BH cube upon 12, and you know the formula of moment of inertia, and I will tell you in the whiteboard as well how can you do that. And then you have to apply the load over it. When you will apply the load, there will be the slight bending is coming over there. And after that, what you have to do, you have to measure its length, and then you have to see where the maximum buckling is coming over there. So then you have to measure it, that one, from the ruler or scale, whatever you want to use it. So now this is the fixed support, and this column is having, and I have applied the load. And then what you have to do, you have to measure it with the scale, and then you have to measure its where is the maximum buckling or curve is coming over there. So then you have to measure that one area, and up to which extent. So you have to measure its length from there, and then how much buckling is occurring over there. So then when you will measure it, so what you have to use vernier caliper. Now you can see there is a more curve buckling over there. Now you have to measure it. Now where is the maximum coming? So the maximum is coming over there, so you have to measure it with the scale here. So this is the I think this one is the measure, so you have to measure its. Now you can see its curve is here measured, so you have to measure it here, and then you have to use a scale for where maximum is coming over there. Now you can see we have applied the load. Now we are measuring its length, and then you have to see where the maximum buckling is coming over there. So you have to measure it with a scale, or you can use the vernier caliper. And now you can see the buckling is shift from downward to upward, and every column is having different buckling at the different length. So you have to measure it accordingly, and you have to write it. Now we are moving towards the working. How can you do in the manual? So let's have a start. First of all, I want to tell you, obviously I have to cover it. I have already covered it in the theory lecture, that how can you do which formula is used for the buckling load. So the formula for the buckling load is here is what? Pi r is pi square epsilon. Let me do some changes over here. So sorry for this mistake. And I am moving towards what? This is epsilon I divided by pi square epsilon I KL square. So it is total of a square. So this is known as Euler formula, and it is given in your manual also. So you can see over there. So what you have to do. So what is P? It is maximum load. It is maximum load. Then E is the modulus of elasticity. Modulus of elasticity. And you know it very well. Then what you have to do, you have to take it moment of inertia I. I have already told you what is moment of inertia. Moment of inertia is the resistance of a body to rotate or move. And then there is the length of the column. Length of column. Then what you have to do, it is K, effective A length factor. Effective length factor. Then what you have to do. So one more thing, it is very important to know that for doing calculations for this practical is that for the condition support conditions. So how many types of support conditions I have already told you. There were four support conditions because we were having four struts or columns over there. Four struts basically. So it is pin. And I want to clear one confusion is that what is strut, what is the difference between the strut and column. So strut is used in the trusses structure, and what then column, what we have to do, pin and fix. Then we have fix. Then after that, fix free. Effective length factors. Effective length factors. So K is equals to 1. K is equals to 0.7. K is equals to 0.7. Then K is equals to 0.5. Then we have K is equals to 2.0. So keep it in mind that this is the effective length factor for different conditions. So that is different. For example, if we have pin conditions, so that is K equals to 1. So if we are having what? If we are having a fixed pin condition, so K will be 0.7. If we are having pin fixed condition, so K equals to again 0.7. Fixed condition, K is equals to 0.5. Fixed free is K equals to 2.5, 2.0, so 2. So what does it mean by that? You have to consider these factors for different conditions. So you have to take it as whatever it is given there. So what you have to do for different support conditions, so you have to put the effective length factors differently in this formula, which I have told you here. And what is this formula? So let me take another pointer color, and what is happening over here? Oh my God. What happened? It is erased. Oh, sorry. Okay, students, we have done the experiment. Now what we have to do, you can see this is the experiment number 11. And here what we are trying to do, we are finding out the buckling load on struts, or you can say column having different support conditions. So loading strut apparatus, we are having this at strut apparatus. I have already shown you in the experiment, and these are the standard weights. Look here, and you have to apply different loadings over there, and how bending is coming over there, or you can say it's not bending, it's buckling. And what is the major thing? You have to see that this is the formula I have discussed, and then these are the support conditions and what will be the effective length factor. So you can see over here. And what is the procedure? I have already told you how can you perform this experiment. And you have to apply the loading on each column, and then you have to get the buckling load. And this is the actually the observation table. I have already made it, I will made it on the whiteboard. And then you can see effective length over here, applied load, buckling load over here. And this is all about, and then whatever the value will get it, so you will have to put it in the result, and you have to discuss the conclusion, whatever the value you are getting it. So this is all about how can you perform, how can you see your manual, and you have to do all the form, you have to do all the calculation, and you have to put all the values in the formula, and you will get it. So you have to do show it into the conclude into the calculation. So there is a calculation of experiment number 11, so you have to show all the calculation. We have to do, we have to for example, what we are going to do is that, for example, what we are trying to do it here, so it is observation. So let me take another pointer color. So this is the red one I am taking over here. And what is your observation table? So let me draw it here. So this is observation table, which is given in your manual as well. I will show you in it that serial number, then you have support conditions, then effective length factor, effective length factor. Then what we have, effective length factor, it's having K. Then we have effective length. And how can we find out effective length? So it is K into L. Then we have applied load, whatever the load you are applying on the strut apparatus. So applied load is there in LBS. Okay. And then you have buckling load. Buckling load, it is also in LBS. So the buckling load you have to calculate from the formula, and I have already told you what is the formula for the strut apparatus for finding out the buckling load. P square pi square epsilon I divided by KL square. So now what you have to do, first condition is there, pin. So next is what? Fixed pin. Then we have pin fix. Fix. Then what we have? Fix free. Then this is fifth. Then what we have? K factor. It is given. I have already told you 1. Then there is 0.7. Then there is 0.7. And then again is what? 0.7. So keep it in mind, we were not having this in the apparatus. So I am cutting it down. So this condition is not in our strut apparatus. And what you have to do for the KL, so length of the rod in the strut apparatus is 1 meter. So what you have to do, you have to multiply it. You can measure it if it is 1 millimeter or it is 1 meter. So you have to check it out yourself. You have to measure it. For example, this is your rod. So what its length. So whatever its length, so you can check it out. And its thickness as well. What is its thickness? You should know that. So what you have to do, if it is 1, so when you will multiply 1, L is 1 and K is 1. So it will come out 1. Then you have how much? No, it is 6 inches. So for example, it is 1 millimeter. I thought so, but it is calculated as, for example, I am taking it here. So let me erase this condition because it is not, we are not having this. So what we have to do? So it is 6 inches. For example, it is what? How much? 6 inches. So L is equals to 6 inches. So what you have to do? So let me again take white, no, eraser. So what I have to do? So it is what? It is 6 inches. When I have to multiply 1 into 6 equals to 6 inches. Then 6 into 0.7 inches. So then 6 into 0.7. And here this is 6 into 1 inches. So this is KL, 6 inches into 0.7 again. No, it is 0.5. This is not 0.7. So I am going to take it as 0.5. So when you will multiply with 0.5, so what will happen? So what I have to do, 6 into 0.7, 4.2 inches. 4.2 inches. Then it will become 3 inches. So applied load is how much load you have applied. For example, I have applied 4.4 pounds. So I will put it right down here. It is 8.8. It's up to you. You have to check it out how much load you have to apply over there. If it is 8.8, so it may be kips. So obviously you will apply whatever you are applying, whatever the magnitude of the load or unit of the load you are applying over there. So you have to do it. As I told you into the torsion apparatus, there we were taking in, we were taking weights in the Newton. If you are taking weights here in kg, so what you have to do, you have to multiply it with the gravity, and then you have to, when you will convert it into Newton, then you have to convert it into the lbs. So the next thing is buckling load. So what you have to do for the buckling load, so you have to apply this formula. So at every step you have to apply, and you have to put the value of K factor over in this value. And what is the modulus of elasticity and moment of inertia, you have to take it. So let me tell you here what you have to do. For let me do where, what moment of inertia, how can you take it? So for example, if you have length equals to 6 inches, or thickness you have is 7.5 inches. You will check it yourself. And there is 1 inches. What? If you are having 1 inches thickness, or if you are having 7.5 inches. So what you have to do, because when you will bend this, it's bend. So what will happen? It's this thickness matters, and it's this thickness matters. So you have to measure this one. So you have to check it out how much it is. How much it is. So whatever the thickness come with the vernier caliper, so you can take it. So what you have to do, you have to do calculation for the moment of inertia. So it will be, for example, your one thickness is coming like this, and then you have to take 7.5 cube, BH cube upon 12. So you can find out moment of inertia from this. So when you are bending, so which things matter? So you have to measure the both the thicknesses, and when you will measure it, obviously with the vernier caliper, then you will put it in the this formula, moment of inertia BH cube upon 12, and then you will get your moment of inertia. And what about the modulus of elasticity? And which modulus of elasticity you have to take? So you have to decide it yourself. If you are having steel, so what will be its modulus of elasticity? So you have to search it out from the internet and you will get it, obviously. So you have to check out the modulus of elasticity of steel. Then what you have to do, you have to plot, is there any need of plotting the graph? So you can plot the graph. How? I have an idea. How can you plot the graph? So let me bring you where. This is my pointer. I am moving towards the next slide. And you can make a histogram. And on the x-axis, you have to take support conditions. Support conditions. And what you have to do here, on the y-axis, you have to write down buckling load, obviously in pounds. Buckling loads in pounds. When you are having support conditions, so what you have to do, now it is red, so it is pin. So you can write down pin condition. Then you have what? So let me change the portion of my this, and you have to write down pin fix. Pin fix. And then you have what? Fixed pin condition. Fixed pin. All the 4 conditions you have to write down in the column, and then you have to write down observe buckling loads, and so there will be 2 histograms on each conditions, whatever the value comes. So you have to take different colors, so you can draw it. I have already told you how can you make the histograms, so you can do it. So it will show you what is the difference between the two. And there is fix condition, so you have to do it yourself. So what will be the column you have to consider for this graph? So let me show you this one column, support conditions, and this 2 columns, applied load and buckling load. So let me write down, it's A for the graph, B, and this is C. So you have to make 3 columns on your Excel sheet, and then you have to draw this histogram yourself. I'm not going to give you an idea. I'm just giving you an idea. I'm not going to draw it myself on the Excel. I hope you understand it. How can you perform this? How can you make this graph? So after doing this, you will get an idea what is the difference between the applied load in LBS and buckling load you are calculating with the formula, and you will understand it. How can you do this? So if you will find it helpful, so what you have to do, I am just leaving behind only 150 subscriber to get 1000 subscriber, because there were 2 conditions to achieve, that I have to complete 4000 watch hours. So I have completed, it's now 5000 watch hours, and then I have to do what? I need 1000 subscribers. So only 150 subscribers are left. So if you will subscribe my channel, so it will be helpful for me, and you will get more useful videos for that, and you can see this experiment in your manual as well, so it will be helpful for you. So I want to add this one as well. So obviously manual will be also added over there. So one thing I want to tell you, don't forget to subscribe my channel, share, like, and subscribe. and obviously you will like it, so share with your friends and family. And one more thing I want to tell you, don't forget to follow me on www.nahishazad.blogspot.com. Thank you so much for watching my this video. If you will find it helpful, so must write feedback, give feedback on the comment section of my YouTube channel. Thank you so much.